Hi folks, it's John from lastchanceautores.com. I'd like to share with you another update. This is the body for the 1928 Ford Model A Roadster. In an earlier video we shared with you where we were doing quite a bit of the metal work, the hammer and dolly work on the quarter panels. We were getting ready to do the floor and the seat riser, and we had these new patch panels that we just kind of showed what they're going to look like. A lot of progress has happened since then. We now have all the metal fabrication work done on it. So we have it on one of our rotisseries here that we made to make it a lot easier to do all the metal work on. So what we're going to do is just briefly show you what we've done, and then we'll share another video after, because our next step is to media blast or sandblast this body and get it ready for two-part epoxy sealer. So we finished with the repairs in the front cowl areas. In an earlier video, I believe we shared with you where we had the proper opening with support pieces, because we wanted to make sure nothing shifted or moved, because we have the correct opening for the doors. And then we've done the final repair between this lower cowl plate and the upper seat, or the upper windshield frame, to the rocker panel. So we have that all welded in, and it's correct and it's nice and strong. So we have all that done. We have the new floor section in the front. We've made repairs to the different areas, and then we have the new, or the original seat riser back in. And then as we come to the quarter panel on the driver's side, you can now see we have the old rusty piece is gone. We have the new piece welded in, almost flush, so we're not going to be relying on a whole bunch of body filler. And then we have this aftermarket replacement panel. You can see it has the shipping primer on it, and then we have all of our holes for the fastening points for the rear fenders. So we'll be sandblasting this shortly. And then you can see we did a lot of hammer and dolly work on the outside. In an earlier video, which I don't think you're going to be able to notice too much, we'll show you on the back side. This area here was heavily corroded and pitted, and the holes were almost through. And when we see metal that's that rusty, what we want to do is we want to cut it out, make a new piece, weld it in, grind it smooth, and you can see here, you can barely notice that we've cut this section out and put a new piece in there, because we don't want to rely on a bunch of body filler. But if we come around to the other side, or to the back side of that piece, you can see where that piece is. Now you'll see that for now, but then once we sandblast that and we grind that smooth, we'll use a little bit of smoother in there with high build primer, so you'll never know that we've cut into this side panel, replaced it with a new piece. Along the back filler panel here, there is numerous dents. It's double walled in the back with a lot of bracing, so it's not something you can get too easily in behind to hammer and dolly. So we used our heat pins and pulling system to pull out the majority of the locations. In an earlier video, you'll recall there was rust through a lot of holes across here, and same kind of idea. We've cut it out, we made a new piece, and you can see it's even rolled over here. It'll be better when I flip the body over. You can see where we have this ridge and the fold over piece, and it matches exactly like we haven't even been in there. It'll be easier to see, there's the two replacement panels in the back. It'll be easier to see that when we rotate the vehicle on the rotisserie. When we come over to this side, which is the passenger side of this 28 Ford, same idea. We have all of the welding done along here for the filler panel. We have the other new lower quarter panel piece, which is correct for this Roadster style. We have all of the repairs done up here where it had some pinholes and some breakage and cracking, so we've got that all repaired. And then once again, I think when you come through here, you can see where the rumble seat is going to be at that back panel. You can see we have the new panel, and we also have the new riser panel. So what I'll do now is I'm just going to remove this pin, and I'll just rotate this body, and then we'll get a better idea what it looks like on the bottom side. That's my handle. So these are really handy. We've got about 6 of these rotisseries in the shop, 3 for frames and 3 for bodies, and you can see it just makes life so much easier for us to do the construction or the reconstruction of these vehicles, because now you can see the bottom side. So this is obviously the front of the car. This is underneath the seat. You can see all the locations. This is a new piece here that we've made, a new piece on the other side, and then this is an aftermarket or a reproduction panel with the correct ribbing and stamping, and then we've ground all the welds, the spot welds smooth. And then as we come towards the back, this is our original from 1928 section. So this all looks quite nice, but this was all rotted across here. Now this doesn't look like much, but it's an incredible amount of work, because there is pinholes, rusted holes all the way through. So what we did is we basically cut out, and you can see this ribbing. We've simulated that exact ribbing or fold over step. So rather than, most guys, what they would do is they would replace that whole piece and say they don't reproduce this section, but you can buy this panel. What we decided to do, we wanted to keep it as original as possible. So this is original 1928 steel. It just needed a new piece along here. So you can see it's quite tricky, but we have the exact ribbing, and we have the forms, and we have each square the way they should be. So this looks exactly like it did in 1928. You wouldn't really know that was all rotted, and we cut it away and made a new piece. So quite a bit of talent involved to get that set up to make it look correct. And then as we come to the back part of the car, we have these 2 aftermarket panels that attach together, and you can see this back section of the rumble seat that rolls around meets this other floor pan section where your feet would go for the rumble seat. They kind of fit, but not really. So then we have to modify, and you can see on the ends, I think, we had to, there's a lot of, there's an opening there. So we made a couple of pieces that lined up with the rest, and then welded them in. And then you'll notice where we've attached this rear panel to this panel. You can see where we've done the welds, and then we've ground all the welds smooth. So then after we media blast this and we apply a 2-part black epoxy to seal it, you won't really see that we've done any modifications or any work. So it'll look original and correct for this 1928 Model A. So just a brief update. So the metal fabrication is now done. So as I mentioned earlier, our next step, we have our sandblasting set up. So we also have KingstonSandblasting.com. So we have special media, the correct media, so that we don't hurt this body, and we'll be sandblasting this whole piece and then preparing it for a 2-part black epoxy to seal it. So in the next video, we'll share with you what this looks like with it all sandblasted before we seal it. So I thank you for watching. I'm John from lastchanceautores.com.